The Canon Rebel T4i, or 650D depending on where you live, is an entry-level-ish DSLR. It has a cropped sensor and a compact body. It has some bells and whistles though that make it stand apart from others in its category. Let me take you on a tour of the T4i's body. Starting on the front of the camera, we see the name badge here, and here is the flash button. You can press this button to pop the flash up when you're in the creative zone modes, which are program, shutter priority, aperture priority, and manual. This flash is also the autofocus assist beam. This is the lens release button, and here is the lens mount. Down here is the depth of field preview button. Over this way is red eye reduction and self-timer lamp. We can see the shutter release button, and this is the remote control sensor. On this side of the camera, you can see the strap mount. Under that are two doors. The one on the right covers the AV out/digital terminal and the HDMI mini out terminal. The door on the left covers the remote control terminal and the external microphone terminal. On this side of the body, you can see the other strap mount, and then one door which contains the memory card, an SD card. You can also see this little door here, which is the DC cord hole for when you're using an AC adapter kit. On the bottom of the camera, you can see the battery compartment, and also the tripod socket. On the top of the camera, you can see the focal plane mark and the hot shoe. Here's the microphone. This is the mode dial and the power switch. You have off, on for still photography and video. Here is the ISO button where you can set ISO sensitivity. And this is the main dial, which is used for a number of things, including adjusting your aperture and shutter speed in your creative zone modes. And again, you can see your shutter release button. Now for the back of the camera. Over here is the menu button, where you access the menus. Then the info button. If you press this, you can quickly see many of the camera's settings in a list, or get to the shooting settings screen. Here is the viewfinder with the dioptric adjustment knob. Then is the live view button, which acts as the record button when in movie mode. Over here are two buttons that have multiple uses. This one is the auto exposure or flash exposure lock button, as well as the zoom out button when in playback. And this one is the autofocus point selector and the magnify button when in playback. This is the aperture and exposure compensation button. When in manual mode, you press this button and turn the main dial on the top of the camera to adjust aperture. When in other creative zone modes, you press this button and turn the main dial to adjust exposure compensation. This is the quick control or direct print button. You can press this button when the LCD screen is off to get the quick control screen. Over here is the speaker. Then we have the cross keys. These serve as navigation and selection keys when in the menus or the quick control screen, but they also have their own functions. The top allows you to access your white balance settings, the right button accesses your autofocus settings, the bottom button accesses your picture style, and the left button will allow you to choose your drive mode. In the middle is the set button, where you set your selections. This is the playback button, which brings up the images on the memory card, and this is the erase button, which allows you to delete images. And this is the access lamp, which lights up when the camera is accessing the memory card. And then you have your LCD screen, which not only flips out and closes, but also is a touch screen. That's it for my tour of the Canon Rebel T4i/650D. Let me know if you have any questions.